Man, what's good, everybody on YouTube? Y'all enjoyed that first Larry Bird Ultimate Mixtape reaction, so we had to run it back. So today we are going to be reviewing and analyzing, making the case for Larry Bird. So I'm actually excited to see what they have here, because I don't have him as the greatest of all time. So they're gonna make a case for Larry Bird as the greatest player of all time. So it's going to be exciting to see. It's going to be interesting to see what they pull to pull him above. You got Michael Jordan. You can include Magic. You got LeBron James, Kareem. So before this video starts, make sure y'all like the video. Subscribe to the channel as we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So, man, let's get it. I know the last video you said that, people said that the audio was low. So we're going to turn it up. We're going to turn it up so everyone can hear the audio. So let's get it. Desktop audio. Let's get it. I hope you guys can hear me and the video as well. Let's get it, man.
The size of the court and the lack of pads or helmets give fans the most intimate experience of a team sport that exists. And because of the different styles that basketball allows for, players develop their own distinct identities and signature styles through their creativity, flair, and athleticism. And although no player succeeds alone, the scoring volume and two-way nature of the sport give individual stars a nearly unprecedented amount of control over the flow and outcome of a game. For this reason, players are constantly compared to their peers and to the legends of the past in order to answer the most hotly contested question in the sport: who's the greatest to ever do it? For many, the question is redundant. They believe in only one right answer: their answer. Others might have their own personal stance, but acknowledge one or two alternatives. But I believe that there's much more nuance to the question of greatness and more answers to it than you might think. By my count, there are 8 players in NBA history that have a substantial claim as the GOAT. It's a subjective thing though. I can't give you a definitive answer. All I can do is make the argument. So today, I'll be making the case for Larry Bird as the greatest basketball player of all time.
Making the case. This should be good. This should be a good one. This should be a good one.
When it comes to basketball, Larry Bird is the smartest, clutchest player to ever play the game. Now, if you don't think that Larry Bird is the greatest basketball player of all time, you probably hate that I just said that. Those are the kind of talking head sport cliches that surely impact the game but are impossible to empirically measure. Normally, I'd agree with you, but I think that when you talk about Larry Bird, you see those intangibles become real, palpable results. I wouldn't have said it if I didn't believe it. When Larry Bird was drafted by the Boston Celtics in 1978, the NBA needed saving. Attendance was in the toilet, the league had few marketable stars, cocaine addiction had several players in its grasp, and most damning of all, playoff games were being tape delayed. Playoff games at the highest level of basketball were being put in the back seat for black and white movies and network reruns. But rather than join the Celtics after being taken 3rd overall, Larry Bird decided to return for his final year at Indiana State, a decision that would prove to be one of the most important in the history of the sport. Bird's final year saw the Sycamores tear through college basketball, going 33-0 before the national championship game. Bird, already claimed by the NBA's most historic and prestigious franchise, had established himself as the generational talent who would inherit the mantle of pro basketball. Indiana State's opponent in the national championship,
Magic Johnson,
State, captained by the immortal Irvin Magic Johnson.
Magic.
The Sycamores lost the championship to the more talented Spartans in the highest rated game in the history of basketball at any level still to this day.
Wow.
The stage had been set. The next decade of basketball would be defined by the rivalry between the white hick from French Lick and his Boston Celtics and the black Magic and his Showtime Lakers. The rivalry between Bird and Johnson is entwined into the fabric of the NBA and is worthy of 100 documentaries. In this video though, we're going to be looking at Bird's claim of supremacy. Here's Bird's basketball resume. His 3 championships come with perhaps the highest collective degree of difficulty.
3 championships, 3 regular season MVPs, 2 finals MVP. Oh, I thought he had 3 finals MVPs. He only got 2. 9 first team, 1 second team, 12 All-Star selections.
Players Championship.
That's a hell of a resume.
His 3 MVPs
That's a hell of a resume.
Consecutively, making him only the 3rd player to accomplish the feat, along with Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. His 2 finals MVPs are misleading. He was absolutely the best player on the 81 Celtics, but he was only a sophomore, and his 15 points per game in the finals gave the media an excuse to exact a little vengeance on a legendarily difficult interview. His All-Star and first-team selections also come with the caveat that Bird only played for 13 seasons and missed all but 6 games of the 89 season following surgeries on both feet.
Damn.
I can hear you already. A 13-year career. And this guy is supposed to be the GOAT? What color of paint are you huffing, Clayton? Green, obviously. But hear me out. Yeah, Bird's career lasted about 2/3 as long as it should have. But what he did in that time was so impressive and so substantial that every basketball fan acknowledges that he's in the conversation as the greatest ever.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Doesn't it matter
to be top 10? A lot of people have him top 5, top 3, and you played 13 seasons in the NBA. That's half of what Kobe played, or that's almost as half of what Kobe played, LeBron, Kareem, and to be mentioned in the top, Duncan, who all played 20 seasons. That is insane. That's why him and Magic is crazy. If they would have played 20 years, if Magic and Larry would have played 20 years at the rate of their, if you just measured it, what their career would have looked at 20 years, it would have been them two as the greatest of all time. That's actually my argument of why they're not, because their career got cut short.
Those 13 years saved professional basketball, delivered a disproportionate amount of memorable moments, defined the golden age of the league, and produced a career by which all other forwards
I can't even say that, though, because their careers is better than people who played 18 seasons, 20 seasons.
Or since are measured. Bird squeezed every drop of talent out in those 13 years and made it seem more like 30. He didn't just leave his fingerprints on the game. He left so much of his DNA in the sport that it needed a cigarette afterwards. There's something to be said about the candle that lasts half as long.
I think about this. Bird and Magic both had better careers than Kevin Garnett and Dirk Nowitzki. And they both, I think Dirk and Kevin played 20 seasons. Kevin may have played 18, 19, but Dirk played 20 in Dallas. And Bird and Magic had better careers than them.
But burns twice as bright. Those 3 MVP years stack up with any other run by any other player. I will put an A+ Larry Bird season up against anyone's. What does an A+ Larry Bird season look like? A full box score, a blowout win, a nearly undefeated record at home, and a play style that could only be described one way: white. Larry Bird isn't just a white basketball player, he's the white basketball player. To describe Larry Bird's game is to thumb through the Hoops dictionary and pick out every cliche about white players. Unathletic, great shooter, good fundamentals, the whole thing. The archetype of a white basketball player is Larry Bird, with one exception. He had an unparalleled understanding of the game of basketball, both as a physical contest and as a mental competition. His basketball IQ infected everything he did and catapulted his career into legend. Bird was a complete player. Jerry West called him nearly as perfect as you can get. He was the league's first great marksman. He could
I wonder how
contort
many
his body to shoot from
how many triple doubles do Larry Bird got? Let's find out. Larry Bird has 59 career triple doubles. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty good. How many years did Kevin Garnett play in the league though? Was it 19? Oh, he played 21 seasons in the NBA. Wow. Kevin Garnett played 21 seasons. Wow.
From anywhere on the court, regardless of the level of
And
defense.
I was answering that because I was saying Bird and Magic had better careers than Kevin and Dirk.
He pioneered the art of the dagger 3 and was the founding member of the 50-40-90 club. At 6'9", Bird's understanding of angles and coordination led to a higher rebounding average than Patrick Ewing, and it made him an impressively adept finisher in his younger years. 86, Bird dropped 47 points on the Blazers, playing the majority
With left
of the
hand.
game left-handed.
I gotta react to that.
His lack of quick lateral movement meant that Bird didn't do much when it came to slapping the floor and picking up the opposing point guard, but his size and omniscience gave him the ability to body similarly sized
And
players.
people said Bird, they said he was a good team defender. That's pretty good. Not necessarily a good perimeter defender, but a team defender, which means off the ball, help defense, stuff like that, which is important.
Defense is like a free safety.
And especially in championship contending teams, that's very important. You have to have players that are good team off-ball defenders. Like right here, 22 may cut to the basket. 3 have to jump over, and if he doesn't, the dude who on number 50 has to come up. So that's just good team defense.
And pick off passing lanes with ease.
Right there, number 3 came up and got the steal. So
his passing was transcendent, and I'll highlight it later. And of course, you need to know that Larry Bird was a tough MFer.
Man, Larry Bird he's a bad man, but the greatest of all time. Y'all let me know what y'all think, because I don't think anyone can beat Jordan. I don't think anyone has had a better career than Michael Jordan. He dominated the 1990s. He completely dominated the entire decade of the 90s. That's just my opinion, though. That's subjective.
Superhuman motor and dove for loose balls like a beagle at the park. He was a willing participant in his share of fights, often precipitated by his league-renowned trash talk.
LeBron told Robert Reed he never stayed there. He should have stayed in preaching. That was funny. He had 50 points. I was guarding him my rookie year. He looked at me and he goes, "You can't stop me." And I looked at him and I said, "Gosh, boy, you're so confident." He proceeded to score like 10 straight points on me. The coach took me out the game. He walks by and he's laughing at me.
He was a basketball genius. He'd be a step ahead, a thought ahead.
Dr. J.
A game like a chess game.
I'd much rather guard Michael Jordan than Larry Bird, because you have to play the game as a thinker when you're playing him. You have to get inside.
I heard a lot of people say that about John Stockton. I never heard nobody say that about Larry Bird. Wow.
You have to play
him as a thinker.
The game as a thinker when you're playing him.
People said that about John Stockton.
If you put all of us in a room, Magic, Jordan, myself, and Bird probably be the guy who walks out of the room at the end of the day.
What? Well, Isaiah Thomas hates Jordan, though.
Did you notice something during those testimonies? Those are some of the best basketball players of all time, and they all sing Bird's praises like they were former assassins who had to go toe-to-toe with John Wick.
I can't lie. I can't count what Isaiah Thomas said, only because he hates Michael Jordan. Like, he hates his soul. So I don't think he won't say anything good about him.
Just happy to be alive. Bird excelled during one of the most talent-rich periods in league history. The abridged list of his basketball rivals goes like this: Dr. J and Moses Malone on the Philadelphia 76ers, Sidney Moncrief on the Milwaukee Bucks, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer and the Bad Boy Pistons, Dominique Wilkins on the Atlanta Hawks, Bernard King on the New York Knicks, Michael Jordan on the Chicago Bulls, Hakeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson on the Houston Rockets, and of course, Magic Johnson, James Worthy, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, there's no point avoiding it any longer. We have to look at Magic versus Larry. If you have Magic over Larry, it's because he has 5 rings to Larry's 3, had a peak that lasted about 2 or 3 years longer than Larry's, and had a 2-1 record against Bird's Celtics in the finals.
That's why I got him over. That's why I have Magic over Larry Bird. Specifically for those reasons he just named. 5 ships. I think he got 3 finals MVPs, 2-1 versus Larry.
Legitimate, completely respectable arguments. But in the interest of making Bird's case, allow me to retort. For nearly the entire decade of the 1980s...
And I would say, but skill-wise, you could say Larry Bird is more skilled, better shooter, better rebounder.
Eastern Conference was irrefutably the more competitive conference between the two. Considering the competition, for Bird to have made 5 finals appearances is just as impressive as Magic's 9. As for the head-to-head record responsible for Magic's 2 extra titles, he had more help. Seriously, the Celtics' Big 3 and the Lakers' Big 3 get compared all the time historically as if they were of equal caliber.
And I cannot do that. He had more help. I can't, because that's bias. To me, that's bias. I can't do that with any GOAT argument, with that being LeBron, with that being Jordan. I hate the help. He had more help. He had less help. You rather win or you don't win. I don't like that. If you're so great, if you're great, you have to win with what is given to you, if that makes sense. I can't put the more help, because you can't prove that, if that makes sense. That's just me, though. That's just me.
Magic's accomplices just a step above Bird's? No disrespect at all to Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish, but Kareem was the alpha dog on the 71 Bucks and was the best player for at least 2 of the Lakers' 5 titles.
Not yet. When you do that, and I'm sorry for pausing so much. When you do that, when you say he was the best player on the Lakers for 2 years, you're taking away from Magic. You're literally taking away from what Magic did in those finals. So, like, even 2020, when the Lakers won the championship in the bubble, you can honestly say AD was the best player in the bubble, but you can't take away that ring from LeBron. You see what I'm saying? Because LeBron was a big factor. So that's why, that's just me, though. That's subjective, though.
Worthy was the #1 pick out of UNC after winning a championship as the best player on a team that had Michael Jordan on it. Throw in the fact that Magic got to be coached by Pat Riley, one of the most brilliant minds in basketball history, and you could say that the Magic Bird argument comes down to one thing: luck. So if their careers come down to luck, the question just becomes who you would rather take. Now, I'm not making this video to tell you why you shouldn't take Magic. I'm making this video to tell you why you should take Bird. Not just over Magic, but over everybody. One thing that helps him is the fact that his play would translate perfectly into the league today.
I agree.
A 6'9" sharpshooting forward with eyes in the back of his head who averaged double-digit rebounds in an era against Moses and Lambeer. He'd gobble up boards as a power forward. He'd be an offensive mismatch against everybody as a small ball center, and his off-ball skills and passing would pair perfectly with the flow.
I agree. I said that he will average 40 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists today. He may average 40, 15, and 10 today. Because he averaged 10 against them people who was down there. He averaged 40, 15 boards and 10 assists, averaging that today.
Add in his competitive mania and 3 generations worth of medical advancements, and we're talking about a player who could have stuck around so long they would have had to rename the league. As you've been watching these clips of Bird, I would hope that you would notice something. He always knows where everybody is. Watching Bird play basketball is like watching those monsters from A Quiet Place that know where you are if you make any noise at all. Bird had a level of clairvoyance that bordered on the unnatural. In '85, he ended up 1 steal away from a quadruple-double after playing just the first 3 quarters. His passing was famously infectious and helped transform the Celtics of the '80s into an ideal that basketball teams at all levels are still shown tape of. They moved the ball with precision and intent, always looking for better shots and determined to get the entire team involved in the effort. That fact is almost entirely attributable to Bird and his wizardry.
I mean, that's a good case, though. He's making a very good argument as to why Jordan will probably average 48, 50. Jordan, I'm telling you, Jordan will average. If James Harden can average 36 points per game, Michael Jordan will average 50. 57 and 7. And Bird would do 40, 15, and 10. That's a crazy stat line.
Also helped Bird become the only player with a GOAT claim to transition successfully into other basketball roles after his playing career. In his 3 years as the head coach of the Pacers, Bird won a Coach of the Year award, coached the Pacers to their first and only finals appearance, and gave Michael Jordan as much trouble as he'd ever gotten in his career in the '98 Eastern Conference Finals. After moving into a front office role for Indiana, he won Executive of the Year in 2012, becoming the only person to have an MVP, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year award. On the court or off of it, inside and out, Larry Bird sees basketball as only he can.
Oh, wow.
That intelligence also lent itself to Bird's defining skill, making the big plays. Remember, NBA players get paid to win games. James Harden is getting paid nearly $40 million this year because he's supposed to help the Rockets win games. Victory can be achieved in a lot of ways, and the win column doesn't care how it happens. As Mark Sinclair once said,
"It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning."
That's why I said that help thing, he got more help. Win is winning. Winning a ring is a ring. It don't matter how you got there. It don't matter who you was playing. It don't matter if your opponent was weaker. Winning is winning.
But when your team is down 1 in a crucial playoff game with 8 seconds left, and you need to hit a shot to stay in the series and keep your season alive, that's where players really separate themselves and earn their money. Love it or hate it, it's the players that come through in the big moments that live forever in our memories.
In the clutch.
Some players, for whatever reason, were never able to do it consistently.
Yeah.
Some players were truly outstanding at it. Larry Bird was the best at it. I'm not going to give you the stats about his field goal shooting under 2 minutes with a score that's this close, or tell you who has the most buzzer beaters, or any of that.
Take that for data.
I'm just going to show you clutch moments in clutch situations. 1985 against the Blazers. Bird drops 48 points, including this. Down 1 with 2 seconds left.
Inbound pass, they double team in Bird. Larry, fake, fall away.
That's tough. That's tough.
1985 against the Hawks. Bird sets the Celtics scoring record with 60 points with shots like these.
They open the right side. Bird the fall away.
That's
The best shooting I've ever seen.
1986 against the Rockets. Not all of Bird's clutch moments were singular. The bigger the moment, the bigger his performance. In Game 6 of the 1986 NBA Finals,
So this
Bird
man was
clinches
clutch,
the
too.
championship with a triple-double in what he calls the best game he ever played.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Bird wants a three out of it.
1987 against the Washington Bullets. Bird hits one shot to tie it before it's waved off because of a timeout.
Oh, wow.
Hits another shot to tie it up for real.
Talking about tie it up for real. Oh, Bird cold. Bird cold.
And then in double overtime, down one, he does this.
I didn't know he was cold like that. Bird cold. He said, okay, y'all count that one off? All right, bet. Let me hit another one. Let me just get another one out the way. All right, we in double OT. He's cold. This man is cold. I didn't know he was like that.
For 3 years, from 1986 to 1988,
I remember that.
The three-point contest knew no other champion but Larry Bird.
He's still got to drop one here quickly. 14. This is a tie.
So during his time, who were the best shooters? I know he was the top dog, but who were the other shooters during his time? I know Magic
1987,
wasn't that good of a three-point shooter. He wasn't. I mean, that wasn't his style of play. He was a pass first, flashy, 19 points, 11 assists for his career. He wasn't really a shooter. I want to know who
Conference
was.
Finals, Game 5. Tied at 2 games apiece against the Bad Boy Pistons, this enormous game would put the winner one game
Oh, he
away
played
from
the
NBA
Bad Boy
Finals.
Pistons.
The Pistons are up 1 with seconds remaining. The ball goes out of bounds off the Celtics. Isaiah Thomas just needs to inbound the ball to win the game.
Wow. What? Hold on. That's crazy.
There are truly too many big games and big moments for me to go through without this ending up as a documentary. But that all leads me to this.
I didn't know his man beat the Bad Boy Pistons. So Larry Bird's stats versus the Pistons in his career. He played 53 games. He averaged 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. That's pretty much his average for his career, for real. And he averaged that against the Pistons. Wow. Dang, he was a bad man.
Really want to talk about 1987 NBA Finals, Game 4 against the Lakers. LA is up 2-1, and the Celtics need to win to tie the series and stay alive. Bird hits a 3 with 12 seconds left to go up by 2.
So he was clutch for real. That's tough.
Green comes down and gets fouled with 8 seconds left. He makes the first, but misses the second.
Oh, that's
LA ends up
That's
with the
LA
ball.
ball. Yeah, that's
7
LA
seconds
ball.
left, down 1 point.
so LA ball down 1.
Low post being guarded by Dennis Johnson. Byron Scott is in the ball game.
Magic. Oh,
Magic hits this.
I guarantee Larry Bird would have pulled that shot. That was the difference between them. Off that down screen, off that pin screen, right there, boom, Larry would have pulled it. But Magic, that's not Magic game.
Magic hits this, the baby skyhook.
He made it.
2 seconds left, down 1.
Now that's tough. Larry. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
What do you think happens? I bet it wasn't that. When I paused the tape and the ball was hanging in the air, you thought it was going in.
Oh, I thought it was good.
What do you think happens?
Oh, that's a good look. That's a great look. That's a great look. You wouldn't want nobody taking no other shot in that situation. The only person in the history of the game I would want taking that shot is Bird, Kobe, KD, Michael Jordan. I don't want Bron taking that shot. That's what separates those people from Bron. I don't want Bron taking that shot. It's only 4 people. I just named them. Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Kevin Durant, and Kobe Bryant. Those are the only 4 people in the history of the game that I want taking that last shot, fading away in the corner with 1 second left. Those are the only people I think that can hit that shot in that situation. Cause I thought that was money. I honestly thought that was money. I was like, we going home, folks.
Think happens.
We going home, folks.
I bet it wasn't that.
I don't even want Steph taking
When I
that shot.
paused the tape and the ball was hanging in the air, you thought it was going in. Bird thought it was going in. Magic thought it was going in.
Yeah, they had perfect rotation. Yeah, I thought it was money.
I've seen this game before, and I still think it's going to go in. But it didn't. Pat
Was that a
Riley
championship
said it
game?
himself. We got lucky. And that, a missed shot in the NBA Finals, is why he's the clutchest. Because after he makes the big plays, has the big games, hits the big shots, time and time again, you expect him to hit every shot.
Oh, facts.
To win every game.
Especially in the clutch.
And in those fleeting moments when he doesn't, when he looks like a mere human, when he looks like everyone else who tries to do what he does, you just can't believe it. That's what Larry Bird did. He made the big plays so often, you thought he was going to make them every time. He helps turn basketball into a global phenomenon, paving the way for every Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or LeBron James who comes through our lives. He played basketball in its purest form and captained a team that is consistently ranked among the greatest of all time. He has the second highest win percentage in the history of the NBA.
Oh, wow.
Behind Magic by less than 1/2%.
I didn't know that.
10 games. He was the complete package, a player with no holes in his game whatsoever. They called him Basketball Jesus. He didn't get that name without doing something extraordinary. He saved basketball. And he did it by playing it better than anyone else. Here's Magic at Bird's retirement in 1993.
Larry Bird said that there would be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird. To the greatest basketball player ever.
Wow.
But more important, a friend forever.
Wow. Wow.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. This was a really fun video to make, and I'm going to continue.
Yeah, that's the end of that video. Wow. Wow, that's all I gotta say is wow. I gotta agree with that though. Dang, I got all these chords in the back. But I gotta agree with that to the point that there will never I don't want to say never. Because you got a lot of people that's similar to Larry Bird statistically. And I can even say like Jason Tatum stats. Right now he averaging 37 and like 4, but that's still not Larry Bird though. And Jason Tatum not nowhere. I don't think he's nowhere near clutch as Larry Bird. So I don't know. It may be one Larry Bird ever, because I mean he retired in the 90s, and there has been no one close to him. This is a long video, so I hope y'all enjoyed this analysis, this breakdown, this review, this reaction, whatever you want to call it. Larry Bird is tough. I'm trying to see if he's jumped in my top 10 basketball players of all time. I'm trying to see that he jump anybody, because he's right behind Magic to me. I'm still trying to debate if he's better than Tim Duncan, because him and Tim Duncan is right there as well. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I didn't know Larry was like that though, because he's clutch. He one of the clutches in the history of the game. I'm not gonna say in the league. He's one of the clutchest players in the history of the game. He's top 5 to me, top 4 actually. Top 3. Top 3. So y'all let me know. If y'all enjoyed this video of this reaction. Like the video if y'all enjoyed. Leave a comment down below of what other reactions or breakdowns you guys want to see from Real Talk Zell. We're out of here, man.